Hello guys, in this video I'm going to be showing you 4 easy ways to speed up your WordPress site and possibly retain a ton of users that you are losing due to a slow website. Now there are a plethora of videos out there telling you to do all sorts of things from buying caching plugins to changing your hosting, and while those help to some degree, I'm going to be focusing on only the changes that bring a significant increase in site speed. So let's get right into it. Okay, so the first thing you need to do is compress your images. Now, I have the Google page speed score here for one of the sites that I made for my clients as a demo to test the layout. And so if I scroll down on this report, I see the option of serve images in next gen formats and a potential saving of 1.28 seconds. And what I see here is I have a lot of images that could be reduced in size, right? Especially the first one. And so what you need to do is you need to go to tinypng.com, upload the images here, and compress them. And they can decrease dramatically in space, right? So I've got a decrease of 62% here, another of 45%. And once you've compressed them, you need to go to the media library and upload them again, right? And so I've already uploaded the compressed image, which was 1700 kilobytes before, and now it's 650 kilobytes. And another thing that you need to do is download a plugin called Smush, right? And so I've already downloaded this plugin. Let me activate it. And what this does is it automatically smushes or compresses all of the images that are there in your media library. So you don't need to download them and compress them and upload them again. It does them all in one go. So it's really efficient, but not as efficient as tinypng.com. So for the bigger images that you have, uh, you can manually upload them to tinypng and compress them. And for the rest of the smaller ones, you can just download Smush and bulk compress them, right? So what I need to do after activating the plugin is going to the Smush dashboard, and now I've already have compressed all of the images in my media library. But if you haven't, you'd see a option of bulk Smush now here, right? And you need to click that button so that it automatically processes and compresses all of the images in your media library. And the second thing you need to do is check that the lazy load option is active. And what the lazy load feature does is defers loading the images. So the images are at the bottom of the page are loaded later, and the image at the top of the page are loaded first. So that increases the speed of the website as well. And so now that I've done these two things, let me go to the Google page speed sco- um, plugin again, tool again, and let me retest the website, right? And so I have the updated score here. You'd see that there isn't a massive increase in the it's actually decreased, but if you scroll down on the updated score here, right, and it's saying that serve images in next gen formats, it's now a potential saving of zero point 0.4 seconds as compared to 1.28 seconds here, right? And so I've already achieved an increase of a decrease of load time of about 1 second, right? Now, the second thing that you need to do is download a caching plugin. Now, there are already a lot of caching plugins out there, and they're all pretty good, but most of the pretty good ones are paid. And there are only two plugins that I recommend that are free and that increase your score dramatically, score and the speed of the website. And those are WP Optimize and W3 Total Cache. Now, I don't recommend using W3 Total Cache if you are a beginner and you don't know uh, the complexities and the different features such as database caching and object caching, and you're a beginner. So if you don't have a lot of knowledge in that area, I'd recommend installing WP Optimize. And once you've installed the plugin, you need to just go ahead and activate it and go to the plugin dashboard, right? So there's only like 4 to 5 things you need to set on this plugin. The first thing that you see when you reach the dashboard is run all selected optimizations, right? Okay, so now the optimization is complete, and you may notice here that there are some options in this optimization table that are unchecked, and it's better to leave them unchecked because they might cause some errors if optimized, right? And so there are other options here of tables and settings, but you don't need to get into that. Those are unnecessary. And there on the top there's the option of compressing images, but we've already used another better compression plugin, so we don't need to use this at all. Going to the caching, and you need to make sure that this is enabled, enable page caching. And once you do enable it, you need to come down here and save changes. Similarly, for preloading, you can choose to run this or not. It doesn't really matter, and set the schedule for the preloader to be same as cache lifespan. For the advanced settings, I have disabled gzip compression for this website because I have some other functionalities that may get affected by it. But you need to make sure that you do enable this unless you also have some functionalities that are affected by gzip compression. But that is a very rare, and I don't think that will be the case with you. So you need to make sure that this is enabled, right? And you don't need to check for static file headers. That's unnecessary. And once this is all done, once you've enabled the page cache and checked the preload option, you need to go to the minify settings. And um, you need to make sure that all of these options, enable minify, process HTML, JavaScript, and CSS files, are all enabled, right? And once you've all enabled them, you need to go to their separate tabs for JavaScript and enable these two options as well. And nothing else is necessary. Um, for CSS, you need to ensure these three options. Make sure that this inline CSS option is not causing errors for you. It does for some sites and it doesn't for some. So you'll have to check this. But I'll just leave this on because it doesn't cause any errors on my side. Um, these settings, you can leave them as default as they don't make such a huge of a difference. Um, Nothing is needed to be changed in the settings. And nothing is needed to be changed in the advanced section. So once you've done all that, what you need to do is go for a third Google page speed test, right? We've already done two tests on the site. Let's run another one. Okay, so now the site test is complete. As you can see, it has improved significantly from 56 in the first one to decreasing slightly, and then significant increase of around 30, right? 33 to be exact. And so this is a pretty good score. You can see that the load time here is 1.5 seconds, and this is pretty good. And that page speed score is not as important as this load time or time to interactive right here. Now, the third thing you need to do is remove all necessary plugins. Now, depending on your hosting provider, when you first install your WordPress instance, you may have all sorts of plugins pre-installed in there. You may have Jetpack, Akismet, Hello Dolly, and some SEO plugins and all kinds of trash. So the first thing you need to do is get rid of all of those plugins and only keep the ones that you really need. So as you can see here, I've only got 4 plugins with me, right? And 2 of those are optimization plugins. And so that is really necessary to improve speed. And the other thing that you need to do is keep only 2 themes in your appearance dashboard, right? Only 2 themes installed. Um, that's because you need one as the main theme, which I have Hestia right now, and the other to fall back on. And the other themes are just useless, and they might slow down your website. So let me just go ahead and get rid of those. Let me get rid of this one as well. All right. So the third thing that we've already discussed is removing unnecessary plugins and themes. Okay, so now the fourth and last thing you need to take care of is to ensure that the PHP and the WordPress version of your site is up to date. And how you can do that is you can go to your dashboard and click on the site health screen, or you can go to tools and then site health here. And so you'll see here, you might have some issues, critical issues, recommended improvements, but those are not there on this site. So let me check on the past tests. And you see here that the version of this site is 5.6.1, but you don't need to have it to the latest version. Just ensure that it's 2, 3 versions within the latest version, right? So you could have for 5.4, 5.5, and those are all good. And the PHP as well, right? So the PHP, make sure you have a 7.1 or a 7.2. Not really necessary to make it up to date, but yeah, you need to be within the latest, within 2, 3 versions of the latest version. To update WordPress, you just get an option on the dashboard right here, right? When there is a new update available, you'll see something resembling the sentence of asking you to update right here, and you can update right from the site dashboard. For the PHP, you need to request your hosting company to update it for you. Okay, so now that we've gone over the 4 things to increase the speed of your website, there's just one more thing that I need to discuss with you. You may notice on the Google Page Speed report, you have the mobile tab on the page as well, right? And so let me check the initial test as well, right? So we have the mobile tabs here for the first test. That was before any of the changes that we applied. This one is after image compression, and this one is after using the caching plugin. And so it increases, the mobile speed increases as well when you do the caching and the compression, but it's never quite the same as the desktop speed. And to really ramp it up, you need to use a plugin called Google AMP, right? And it's that's a plugin developed by Google specifically for mobile devices. And it's a little complex, so we'll get into it on a later video. But this score of 60 is pretty good for mobile devices, and I'll show you why, right? So this is a score of 60 and a load time of 6.9 seconds, right? Let me show you the score of the Google page speed page itself, right? And so it has a score of 80 and a mobile score of 47, right? So sites are generally slower for mobile devices, and a load time of 7.9 seconds. The load time for the YouTube side is similar to this one, and so you really don't need to have a score of 90 or 80 for mobile devices if you have a small user base, if you have only around 500 to 1,000 visitors a month. If you have in the hundred thousands of tens of or tens of thousands of visitors, then you might need to consider Google AMP. But it's really not necessary right now, and I might make another video on the plugin itself. Alright, that is it for this video. Make sure to like and subscribe and show some love in the comment section. This is a new channel, so I will be posting regularly in it. And if you have any topics you want me to make a video on, you can mention it in the comment section. And I am a freelance web developer, so if you have a website that needs building or a digital marketing project, you can shoot me an email on sitefleek@gmail.com, and I'll be happy to work with you. And that is it for this video. See you in the next one.